In Doodletones' most recent video, there's screenshots from Toasty Vanilla and Nezziemonster's DMs, and I would love to share those with you all. Hello, Toasty. No NSFW in my Discord chat. Oh, my bad. Good morning, by the way. Morning, but could you please remove them from memes, please? I already did. I'm one step ahead of you, Nezi. Thank you. I shall not take away Stardew Valley privileges. What happened in your server? It's a long story, and then he sends an invite to something called Femboy Hooters ACNH. You should probably make set mods and rules, by the way. That's how my server's been keeping order. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do modding on this server. Just set up roles and give them to people you trust. Then on August 1st, 5:50 a.m., Nezi says, Toasty, you need to remove Slimmers' NSFW chat. I'm not in charge of that. You'll have to ask the admin. You're friends with the admin. I wouldn't really call me and him friends, but sure, I'll ask him. Just warning you guys, that could become an issue. Interesting way to put that. Could become an issue. We need to talk. You just can't keep running away when you feel like you're losing the argument. Plus, we seriously need to talk about some of the shit you've been doing because you can straight up get arrested. I'm tired of you constantly being selfish and switching sides when it's convenient for you. I'm tired of you brushing aside how people feel because you can't control it. Bullshit. You can, you just choose not to. You ignore everything anyone says and then only notice once they leave. I'm tired of it. We're so inconsiderate of everyone else's feelings, and then when it blows up in your face, you do this shit or play victim. Sound familiar? This seriously needs to stop, or I don't know if we can continue being friends. You seriously hurt me and others because of this, and every time you apologize, you just do it again. You keep getting into drama and expecting us to help you, and then you don't listen to what we say, but keep expecting us to help you. I'm tired. I don't know what you expect me to do anymore. Okay, let's talk about this. You're gonna need to be more specific. 1. You don't listen to any of us when we tell you to stop. Stop sending porn. Stop liking porn on your main. Stop talking about certain things because it makes people uncomfortable. Stop means to fucking stop. 2. Stop throwing yourself into debates on Twitter or between friends and coming to us for something when it backfires on you. 3. Stop using the excuses for when you get called out. Stop deleting everything when you get called out and just leaving everybody. The porn shit needs to stop because some of the shit you're doing is straight up illegal. You know what? You're completely right. Honestly, I should have cut myself off from Twitter and Discord a while ago because it's been toxic for me for ages. I didn't want to leave. Bad blood when I left. Honestly, I wasn't trying to run away from any issues, but just trying to give myself breathing room. But I think it is best if I leave for a good period of time to focus on my real life shit. I understand this is stressful for you, and I understand that my actions have been stupid and hurtful. So I also understand if you don't want to be my friend anymore. I'm fine with that. I also understand when it comes to the whole being insensitive to feelings things, you've also kind of done that to me, where I've told you directly how something you've said made me feel like shit, and then just brushed it off or called me a pussy bitch for being uncomfortable with a joke. But that's just a separate conversation to have. Explain. By the way, this isn't just about being insensitive. I'm trying to help you because you're sexually harassing people, and I don't want you to get ruined like V, because I care about you, and I don't want you going that same road. I appreciate that you're looking out for me, but this sexual harassment is pretty out of left field. Sending porn without permission and getting porn made of a friend when they said to stop is sexual harassment. It's technically an unsolicited picture. Who? Mad Libs and Teddy in particular. And every group chat we've been in together. Are you talking about the Futa thing from January with Mad Libs? Yes. That wasn't cool, Toasty. Not to mention there's a period of time where you kept sending the Sandy Cockfor thing. I thought it was a joke until she bonked me in the head to stop, and I did stop. And I already apologized to her about it, and she said it was fine because I stopped and I didn't share anything. The Teddy thing, me and her are genuinely okay with sending NSFW to each other. Also, yeah, not gonna lie, that was kind of stupid. Which led to Mavi blocking you for a period of time. Mavi is Ellie Momelli, and this means that Ellie Momelli knew a bit more than she let on in her Twitter threads. You still kept the fucking picture, and mentioned it when we were in group calls. Toasty, that is weird. You even asked if you could send it to certain people. Then the first question I get when entering FCK is my breast size. Was it? Yes. While I appreciate that you stopped asking, that's weird to ask in the first place, or a picture of my thighs like you did Xena, especially when we had barely known one another. I think the thigh thing was started by Mimi, but if someone was uncomfortable by it, I don't think Xena was weirded out by it. And the fact you still have the picture Madlibs told you not to get people to make in the first place. I actually don't. I don't have a memory of deleting it, but I know I haven't had it in a long time. Then tell her that. I didn't think she'd cared. Toasty. She did tell me she didn't care if I kept it. Having unsolicited porn made of you by a friend is weird. The fact she told you to stop and you kept it for a while anyway. She didn't want it made in the first place and you disregarded that. I stopped when she said. I do remember asking her if she wanted me to delete the only copy, and she said she didn't care as long as I didn't share it. And I didn't disregard it. I thought she was okay with it until she told me directly she wasn't. Sending porn without permission is wrong. What you did to Madlibs is wrong. Yeah, then you asked if you could send it to Xena. Then you kept bringing it up in calls. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. Well, if she didn't like it, then why didn't she say anything? Why does she want to bring it up now, when the topic has been dead for months? Especially after she told me she wasn't bothered by it anymore. One, because she thought you still had it. Two, so just because she didn't say no, you think what you did was okay? I was teasing her. I would expect her to say, hey, don't tease me like that if she was bothered by it. I didn't think teasing her about it would do any harm. Teasing or not, you were involved in porn made of her. She told you to stop, and you not only accepted the picture, but you kept it. You need to talk to her. Because I didn't think there would be anything wrong with that, especially after she said it was fine for me to accept and keep as long as I didn't share it. I'm willing to. It should not have happened to begin with. That can be seen as pressuring, I guess, but it happened a long time ago, and at that time I did realize that was stupid to do. There is no new lesson I can learn from that. If she's still hurt about it, I'd like to make sure she could at least heal from it. Is there anything else you want to bring up? Other than that, no. You were talking to me about V, and he got in trouble for similar stuff. I don't think you're a bad person, but sending porn without permission and sending it until the person is okay with it can be seen as grooming-esque behavior. V got in trouble for sending porn to minors despite the fact they were uncomfortable with it. Me and Teddy have had a conversation when it comes to shit like that. We both agree that we're fine sending NSFW stuff to each other as long as it's not spammy and really weird and made up with that other thing. I don't think me and blank, I'm presuming Madlibs again, are on talking terms, but if she's fine talking to me about this, then I'll talk to her, but probably not tonight. You can message her, no excuses, just apologize. Does she want to talk to me? I don't know, you'll have to go and see. Nezziemonster and Doodle Tones seem to think that these DMs clear Nezziemonster, or that it somehow makes a grand correction, as Nezi would put it on Twitter. These DMs do show Nezziemonster getting on to Toasty a couple of times, but around the time I said she did, the DMs show Nezziemonster mentioning the Slammers porn chat and how it could be a problem August 1st at 5:50 a.m. Toasty told the admin, July 31st, that Nezi wanted the chat deleted. Now, that odd date there is because Nezi is in a different time zone. She's on a completely different continent. So I was correct in my FCK video when I said she didn't say anything about the Slammers porn chat until a few days after Ben threatened the group. She even said it could become a problem. Not that it was already a problem. These DMs also show that she knew a lot more than just about the FCK server. Nezziemonster could accuse Person A, a friend of mine at that time in 2020, of sexual harassment in August of 2020, but not Toasty. She could accuse him of it privately, though. Nezi knew Toasty and Teddy were sending one another porn. She called his actions sexual harassment. In her own words, that it was straight up illegal. And even compared Toasty to V Omega. This was all in 2020. Nezziemonster never came out publicly about this or about Toasty. She could publicly grandstand me to thousands of people for shit less than this. And then say this in the DMs with Toasty, accuse Toasty of sexual harassment privately August 17th of 2020, and then just a few days later accuse a minor of sexual harassment when the victim of this supposed sexual harassment didn't even say that it was sexual harassment. And this is another one of those ArtCC, SCC people that love to talk about how other people need to be held accountable.
But I personally feel like, I'm not saying it needs to be right now, but I feel like you, at some point, once Key and Tippy are like emotionally better, you need to like hold them accountable. You need to just go up to them and be like, hey, you guys need to be actively working to improve yourselves, you know?
No, they need to be actively accountable right now. Something that I've noticed in this community is that Tippy and Key tend to be held with kids' gloves. You don't need to go down on them hard, but you need to hold them accountable.
These DMs show us that she knew even more and make the hypocrisy, the contradictions, and the inconsistencies an even bigger web. You and Doodles apparently thought that these DMs were corrections because, oh well, here you have Nezziemonster in the DMs of Toasty actually bringing stuff up and trying to get on to him about the shit that he's doing. And yet, These DMs reveal that Nezi knew way more about Toasty, saying that he's doing sexual harassment, that it's straight up illegal, knowing that he and Teddy are sharing porn with one another. What exactly is this supposed to correct? Because the screenshot about the Slammers porn chat validates exactly what I said in my video, that Nezziemonster didn't say a fucking thing about the chat until after Ben the Looney threatened the group, about 3 or 4 days afterwards, when she said it could become a problem, not that it already was a problem. And a good majority of these DMs are August 17th, a couple of days, mind you, before Nezziemonster publicly accused a minor of sexual harassment, yet Nezi could never come out about Toasty Vanilla. The same individual who has gotten onto other people for not coming out about shit exactly like this. I can't believe that you thought these DMs would help your case here. It makes it 10 times fucking worse. You knew a lot more than just about what was going on in the FCK server, so you're just adding on to the video. You're not correcting anything in the video, you're adding to it because you knew more than just what was going on in the server. On top of the sheer fucking hypocrisy of it all, I actually can't believe that you thought that this was going to help. Did you not read these DMs before you thought, okay, yeah, putting this out in the public, this is surely going to help me? Even though it confirms that I knew a lot more and still never said anything, which is the main fucking issue that people take with Nezi, by the way, is that she never said anything, yet she can get onto other people for doing that. She could condemn other people. She could accuse other people of sexual harassment, but not the very person she's saying is sexually harassing people in their fucking DMs. It is rules for thee, but not for me. Sanctimonious hypocrisy. It's all about the performative activism that they do. It's all about looking and acting like they're holding people accountable, and only doing so when it's convenient for them. The second that same sort of accountability they preach is knocking on their door, suddenly it's excuses. Suddenly they want to make corrections that aren't actually corrections. If you're a veteran of this channel who's been here since 2020 or 2021, you probably know that her insistence on that she's changed and that she's already taken accountability for it is a steaming pile of shit she's trying to serve everyone. That this is a repeated pattern of behavior with Nezziemonster. Her response to anything and everything. But I want to clue in the new folks. I highly recommend you all watch the videos shown on screen and linked down below. They'll give you plenty of details, but here I'll give you some too. For starters, the infamous false doxing accusation that came from Nezziemonster's 2-part collab with Ponder Sprocket in March of 2020. That was the main takeaway of accusations from those 2 videos. Nezziemonster has insisted repeatedly that those videos are backed up. In our DMs on August 24th, she insisted that everything in the videos were backed up, and that if I can't see that, she didn't know what to tell me. Then, in the Senate call in 2023, she said that if I believe I am so right, just tell the people who are repeating the false accusations to fuck off. Which is rather funny, because instead of taking her own advice to the people upset for her involvement and knowledge about the FCK, yet never telling the public, she went suicidal. To me and the public, she still insists the video is right and backed by evidence. I've already shown you all the sheer dishonesty and hypocrisy from just their part 1. Yet privately, Nezziemonster admitted to the doxing accusation being false. When this came up in the Senate call, she immediately deflected the topic to my mean tweets. Now my question is this. If you've changed and taken accountability, why die on false claims that you knew were false to begin with? Why not just admit you were wrong? Second, the sexual harassment claim she made that I've referenced twice now in this video, that she made against a minor on August 24th of 2020. That is what prompted the DMs I just showed you a minute ago. The accusation was made a second time in Madlib's video on me, released September 29th of 2020. Ever since then, Nezziemonster has constantly lied about it, whether it be the twitlonger she put out on January 22nd of 2021, where she shifted the blame onto me by claiming that I withheld the screenshots from her, when she actually withheld it from Madlibs. Since then, any time it was brought up by me or anyone else, she would lie about it, and then insist that she's already taken accountability and changed. Her and Doodletones couldn't even align their fucking stories in the Senate call, which they tried to do with calls that they had before we had the call in Senate. They had their own calls, one of which was with Teddy the Draws back in 2023, right before the Senate call took place with me. Yes, Susie, I know about that. Nezziemonster still downplays what she did, even after the Senate call. In a compendium of calls that were released on Doodletones' channel, the same one where Nezziemonster threatens people with Lio fucking convoy, she brings up what she apparently did.
Because that's partially our job. And I want you to understand that I too have fucked up before. And I have believed someone with very little evidence. And you want to know what I did?
What did you do?
I wrote out an apology twice because I also got something wrong in my first apology. I wrote out an apology trying the best that I could with my memory. I tend to have a bad memory because of my mental health issues. That's not an excuse, it's an explanation. And I shared that on every single platform. I had an apology sent to the individual in question because I didn't want to contact them. They were, I believe, friends with a doxer at the time. And I had a conversation with one of the people involved. I didn't hide anything. I didn't talk to them and say, well, you should take this. I did tell a friend if they could take it down, which I do regret. They didn't take it down. I didn't bother them again.
Except she's still telling it as though it was some honest mistake, and not that she was dishonest about it, not that she lied about it. So the question again is, how can you take accountability and change from doing something if you've lied and downplayed what you did for 4 fucking years? Third, that FCK server in Toasty Vanilla, a server that Nezziemonster was in, that she knew porn was being spammed in by various people, being shown to minors, that she knew at least 2 minors were in, Slummers and Jamesy. Nezi only got onto Toasty about the chat dedicated to Slummers porn days after Ben threatened the group with exposing. Nezi even stating that the chat could become a problem. She could publicly accuse a minor of sexual harassment, but not the guy she knows is around a bunch of minors, who was sharing porn with said minors, showing porn to said minors, was sharing porn with Teddy the Draws, and that she accused of sexual harassment in the DMs. Not in the 4 fucking years since that server, as Nezziemonster talked about it. It's actually not entirely true, because in 2022 or 2023, when I brought up the sexual harassment accusation, she made another twit longer. And in this twit longer, she vaguely talks about the FCK server and the fact that it broke up because of friend group disconnections and issues, and that the server wasn't made for me. So she was willing to talk about the server then, and yet she didn't get into any of the issues, like, oh, I don't know, showing a bunch of kids pornography, getting kids to draw porn, dedicating a chat to a minor's NSFW. None of those things ended up in this statement when bringing up the FCK, which is a little odd, because this would have been a perfect opportunity for her to talk about the FCK, unless, of course, it was that she didn't want to, and that she wanted it to fade away like it was nothing. Again, I really, really fucking recommend you all go watch the videos that are linked down below, because when I say that she's been lying about this and downplaying this and saying that it's just an accident that she did, she always frames it as an accident or a mistake. Not that she outright lied, not that she tried to cover it up by continuously lying and changing what it is that she did. It's a subtle downplay, because she, like the rest, wanted it to fade away like it didn't happen. Just to add to this, her initial tweet about the FCK back in February calls the server a 4-year-old hornet's nest that it's been talked about repeatedly to exhaustion, when no the fuck it hasn't. She's conflating me talking about the FCK's public antics as me talking about the server itself. She knew exactly what would happen if it became public. That's why she didn't talk about it, yet still went on to pretend to be some moral arbiter grandstanding other fucking people in calls. It's why she compared it to a fucking hornet's nest. That there's no winning in the FCK situation. Big shock. Oh my god. It's almost like your morally virtuous facade that you put onto the public. Set yourself up for this. You want all these charities given to you that you don't give to anybody else. You have no problem condemning people for shit that they actually did, or for false accusations. Yet the second you're being condemned for what you did, oh no, it's gone too far. So I ask again, 3rd time's the charm, if you've taken accountability and changed from this, why hide it? Why try to make a shit fucking defense releasing these screenshots that show everyone you knew even more than just what went on in the server, under the guise of making corrections and defending yourself?